checking the forecast. Things looking crazy, a storm on the horizon. The pressure is low, gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's get this show on the road. That's the Emergency Management Associates, guys. We're here on the air right now for each and every one of you. Welcome to our show tonight, guys. Thank you for being here with us. Guys, it's been a long time here for the past 24 hours since we last were on the air. I've had some issues with my health. I was literally up all night long. I finally got up out of bed later this morning, and I felt like crap. I'm losing my voice as we speak. I won't go into what happened last night, but needless to say, my throat is hurting. Not necessarily hurting, but it's a little bit sore, and I have laryngitis. Anyway, we're here with you right now. I want to specifically address some issues. Okay? Number one, we are in a government shutdown. Okay? Democrats are under fire as food stamp funds run dry. 42 million Americans are caught in a shutdown fight. 42 million Americans are caught in a shutdown fight today, and it's ongoing until the Democrats get off their sorry keisters and do something about it. They have to come back. They have to come back and drop their demands that we fund illegal alien health care. We're not going to do it. Those illegal aliens did not come to this country to work. They came to this country for free handouts. The previous administration opened up the dadgum borders and let them come in, and they've taken over this country. That's not going to be tolerated anymore. There's a new sheriff in town. But given that, there's more than that. The government is closed. The government is closed. Let me give you an example of what happened. Okay, let's go over here to Fox News and let's let them tell us what happened even today. Okay, I want you all to understand what happened. Then we'll go over to the volcanoes and earthquakes.
Fall is here, and so are the RV super.
Sorry, guys. I can't let these commercials go on.
Senator Josh Hawley, he sits on the Judiciary Committee and joins us now. Please do weigh in on the conversation on these sanctions and how much this changes the game for Russia.
Well, I applaud the president for doing everything he can to get Putin to the negotiating table. You know, I was just at the White House with other senators a couple of days ago, and the president talked about this at some length, and he said he wants to bring an end to this war. It's gone on way too long. It has cost way too many lives. And I applaud him for using every piece of leverage he can find to try to get that done.
Okay, so as far as enforcing those sanctions, you believe it's possible?
Well, I don't know, Sandra. I don't know if it is or not. I mean, I assume the president believes it is, or he wouldn't put the sanctions on. I do think that just the mere fact of the United States doing it sends a signal to Putin, and it sends a signal that the president is frankly running out of patience. I mean, the president's really given Putin a lot of opportunities to come to the table here. He's given him ample time to do so, and so far Putin isn't willing to do so. And I applaud the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict that keeps United States troops out of it, which I think would be a huge mistake to commit them, and make sure that we bring an end to the killing, and frankly that Russia is dealt with and put back in its box where it belongs.
Okay, so as far as the shutdown, we're in week 4 of this now. What happens next? We could likely hear more from the White House about what they're hearing from Democrats. Here's one of them, John Fetterman, vowing to put the country first over party on Hannity last night. Listen.
I'm always going to vote country over my party, and if I pay a price within my base, you know, that's something I'm willing to do. I'm not afraid to tell my truth, and if I'm going to pay a penalty, I'm not afraid of that. It's wrong to shut our government down.
Okay, so I don't know what that tells you, Senator, but you tell us.
Well, it tells me we need more Democrats like that. I mean, let's tell the truth, and the truth is more and more Americans are suffering because of the fact the government shut down and the Democrats won't even come to the table to negotiate. At this point, I have no clue what it is they want. I mean, they won't negotiate at all. One day they say they want health care for illegals. Another day they say they don't want to fund ICE. I mean, what in the world is it? Meanwhile, veterans now go to the VA. They can't get the care that they deserve. Our farmers can't get the loans and other programs they have paid for. A bunch of people in my state, millions nationwide, are about to miss food stamps. These are needy folks who need some help with groceries. They're not going to be able to get it. Why? Because the Democrats continue this temper tantrum, which, as you point out, is now going into its 4th week. That is 4 weeks too long. It's time to end this.
Okay, I'm getting an update on this Senate vote. By the way, you cast your vote already, right?
I have. Yes, I have.
And?
Well, I voted, of course, to pay our troops, to pay our law enforcement, to pay all of these workers. But I bet you tell me, but I bet the vote says it's going to fail. Okay, so what I'm getting right now is that this procedural vote on Senator Johnson's bill to pay federal workers who are showing up to work during the shutdown, right now it appears to be failing. The vote is still ongoing, according to my last update here. But worth noting that Senator Fetterman, of which we just played some sound, is the lone Democrat yes vote. Senator Cortez Masto and Senator King, one a Democrat, one an independent, have voted no. Rand Paul voted yes, so that's a win for Republicans. So the vote is still open, but looks destined to fail. Your reaction? My reaction is that this is sad. I mean, think about this now. We're asking our military servicemen and women who wear the uniform of this country, who are on active duty, we're asking them to go out and perform that duty, keep us safe. But the Democrats are saying, we're not going to pay you. Our cops, Capitol Hill Police, other federal law enforcement, FBI, Border Patrol, not going to get paid. Our veterans not going to get care. I mean, I don't understand it. I don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand why you would want people to suffer because of your political predilections. I mean, you don't like the president. They don't like the president. Fine, I get it. Get over it. He won the election. Stop punishing the American people for it. We need more people like John Fetterman, more people who put country over party and are willing to say, hey, I'm going to be an adult here. I'm going to stop punishing the American people. Let's come to the table, get the government reopened, and get this done. This is absurd.
We hear you. Senator Hawley, a yes vote, as you just confirmed a moment ago. We'll wait the official outcome of that vote here should be in shortly as we await the White House briefing. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
That's it, guys. Unreal. This should never happen. This should never have happened at all. Nothing. Never, ever. Yet the government is on shutdown. The Democrats still will not move and even tell us the truth. They don't want to tell us the truth. They want it their way and no other way. That can't be. That can never be. That never will be. Okay? This is an emergency for the American people. This is an emergency for the American people. You and I, we need to pay our law enforcement. We need to pay our senior citizens and people that are suffering that don't have money for groceries. We need to get them money so they can eat. We don't need them out on the streets in squalor. We don't need children not eating. The Democrat Party is stupid. The Democrat Party, I'm calling them Democrat communists. It's outlandish. It should never happen. Ever. Yet the Democrat Party wants to continue doing this outlandish stunt and making sure that illegal aliens are given money. That's not going to happen under this administration, and it should never ever happen within this country. Not now, not ever. Okay? I'm calling it as I see it. Okay? Yes, I'm a conservative, but it doesn't matter. This is a national issue. Children should not be suffering. Our veterans should not be suffering. Our military should be getting paid. Our law enforcement should be getting paid. They get shot at. They have protesters out there shooting at them. Yes, the protesters have guns. They have the bullets. They are shooting at our law enforcement and getting away with it. All over this country, they're getting away with it. That should never happen. Yet these Democrat communist politicians want it to continue. These politicians should be fired at the ballot box this November, next November, and in 2028. They should be fired and new people put in that will do the job and get it done. Plain and simple. These people that have been in power for 15, 20, 30 years should be forced out on their butts. Let them live on their retirement. They've also falsified information. They've used the information they've gotten from illegal information to invest their money illegally. Okay? They made millions of dollars on what was supposed to be $182,000 a year. They are now multimillionaires. That should never be allowed to happen. Not now, not ever. Okay? I'm calling a spade a spade. This is an emergency in our country. This emergency in our country is going to filter out into the rest of the world. This should not be allowed to happen, not any longer, period. Okay? I'm going to come down off my soapbox here, but I'm very angry, and all of you should be as well. Okay? Second story, guess what happened? Guess what happened here, guys? The NBA, okay? The FBI got a tip and started an investigation. Guess what happened? Several NBA coaches and players got caught up in a scandal. A whole bunch of NBA players and coaches got caught up in a scandal. This coach right here is named Chauncey Billups. He's been arrested along with other NBA coaches and players as well. Okay? Sad. We should not have this happening in our country. This is a game. This is supposed to be a game. And yet, these players and coaches have been arrested for wrongdoing. They're arrested by the FBI and illegal gambling probe. Illegal gambling probe. These guys wanted to make more money. Now they're in jail. Yes, They probably will pay their own bail to get out, but they're going to have to face their day in court. This should not be happening. Let me just play for you a clip here from Fox Sports.
When stories like this come out and they're uncovered and discovered and there's indictments, and these are all accusations, but it's a 4-year process by the FBI, about $7 million victims lost, hours and hours of videotape. And I've been reading this stuff for the last 45 minutes to an hour. And these are accusations. I'll try to simplify it as much as I can and give you my take on it. So Damon Jones, Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups. So it's all illegal gambling. It's 11 states, spanned across 11 states, 30 individuals arrested. 13 of them are mafia members. La Cosa Nostra, that's the Italian mafia. So these are two separate incidents. So the NBA one is 6 defendants. Damon Jones, Terry Rozier. Basically, they leveraged their connections to place prop bets. For instance, Terry Rozier, in a game in March 2 years ago, feigned an injury so he would be pulled out of a game and all the unders on the prop bets would hit. And a guy who's made over $100 million apparently won a couple $100,000 for doing it from real bad actors. Not sure why you do that. Maybe he was in huge debt. But they're two separate indictments. The poker fraud's been going on forever in basements all across the world. Okay, so the poker fraud stuff, I mean, let me just read some of this. The technology was hidden cameras, special contact lenses, glasses that could read marked cards, X-ray poker tables that could read cards face down. There were people off-site from the decks that were getting information, feeding it back to people who were playing in the game. In those games, there were some NBA players like Damon Jones is mentioned in this accusation, these arrests. And again, the poker stuff, and that's been happening forever. It's happening this morning and it's happening tonight all over the country, all over the globe. That stuff, it's casino meets rounders. It's intense. I don't play poker. I have friends who do. They joke about stuff like this. The NBA stuff is the stuff we all worry about primarily, right? That's the stuff we worry about. Tim Donaghy, Henry Hill, Boston College. There was that ASU investigation. Vegas often tells the leagues. Vegas doesn't want cheaters. Vegas, their margins are thin. Sports bettors are smarter than ever. I mean, last week or the week before, Joe Fan crushed the books. So you fans are smarter than ever. Vegas doesn't want to see this stuff. Vegas wants to get this stuff out. So, and I lived in Vegas for 7 years, and sports gambling and the mafia have been around forever. There were accusations forever around Tark, none of it ever proven. I don't believe any of it. But players were in casinos, and there's bad actors everywhere. And he was always terribly aware of it and preached to his players, stay out of those casinos. And I covered a program that had that stuff hovering over him for years and years and years. I didn't believe any of it. None of it. It was just as part of the fabric and casinos and gambling and bad guys and basketball coaches. And so my takeaway on all this stuff is this is serious business. The poker stuff happening forever. The NBA stuff, they just signed these massive contracts. This is an awful day for Adam Silver. It's just an awful day for Adam Silver. And the people I know in sports, they tell athletes don't do it. They tell them to stay away. I've always worried more about officials than athletes. My first job was covering a basketball team in Vegas, and I'm telling you, UNLV was so aware of it, so concerned about it, so frightened about it, preached to the athletes constantly, and good for them. They 99.9% of the time, except for one person that got involved. It's a hot tub. I remember waking up in Vegas one year, spokesman review. The AD was Dennis Frinfrock, and there was Richard the Fixer Perry was in a hot tub with a couple of players, blew up the program. This stuff's been going on forever.
This stuff's been going on forever, guys, and it continues. It should stop. Our sports need to be clean. Our sports should be clean from any kind of gambling or any other devious garbage. And that's what it is, garbage. It's ruining our country. It's ruining our fans. It's ruining the sport. Unreal. Sad. Huge arrest by the FBI. Players and coaches have gone to jail over illegal gambling. Incredible. Let's go over to volcanoes. Okay, I want to talk specifically right now about Mount Hood. We're going to get to the other volcanoes in just a minute. I want to specifically talk about Mount Hood. Yesterday during the day, an online YouTube program came out and was talking about Mount Hood erupting. Does this volcano look like it's erupting? No. This is on an overcast day, and you clearly see Mount Hood in the background here. Mount Hood is not erupting, but there is a program on YouTube that's still there. I reported them big time yesterday because they were saying Mount Hood was erupting. Mount Hood is not erupting at all. I want to make that clear right here and now. The Pacific Northwest volcanoes are not erupting. Yes, there is instances of magma going into the volcano. There are instances of earthquakes at the volcanoes. There's instances of volcanoes going and steaming. That's been going on for a long time, but Mount Hood is not erupting at all. I want to make this point perfectly clear. Mount Hood is not erupting at all. Okay? Let's make that clear right now. Mount Hood is not erupting at all. Okay? Let me show you the information about Mount Hood right now. Okay? Let's go over and look at Timberline. Timberline is government camp on the southern part of the volcano at the foot of the volcano. Literally, the foot of the volcano. I don't know how this happened, but the sidegram got foobarred here. Let me reduce it in size so you can see what's going on here. This is Mount Hood. This is Timberline, government camp. Look what's happening here. Last night is here at the top. The top line here, the top line here is 5 p.m. yesterday evening. Does this look like a volcano that was erupting yesterday? No, not at all. These are tremors here. These are tremors. Nothing but harmonic tremors as well. Harmonic tremors from about 8 p.m. until after 7 this morning. Then what happens after that? After 7 o'clock this morning, more tremors ensued. Yes, we've had some earthquakes. We've had some tremors and minor earthquakes. You can see it here. But these minor earthquakes do not get above 2.6, 2.7 at Mount Hood at the bottom here. That is this afternoon. Earthquakes did not exceed 2.5, 2.7 in magnitude. In order to have a volcano erupt, we must have almost consistently ongoing 4.5 to 5.0 magnitude earthquakes at the volcanoes for them to be erupting. The 4.5, 5.0 earthquakes are consistent with a pre-eruption. An eruption of one of the volcanoes usually says there's a 5.0 earthquake acquainted with it. Mount Hood is not erupting at all. I left YouTube with a report about that company that put out that video. Okay? I'm a subject matter expert. I've been following Mount Hood for some 6 years now. I've been on the air now over 6.5 years. I'm a subject matter expert. I know what's going on. I have reported when Mount Hood has been showing earthquakes consistent with enough notoriety that USGS had to issue a yellow advisory notice for a possible eruption on Mount Hood. That was several years ago. It's not happening now. It's probably not going to happen for a while. Mount Hood is not erupting. This is timberline. Let me go and show you Palmer Lift up on the upper side of Mount Hood on the southern end. This is Palmer Lift. Okay? Yes, last night at the top is 5 p.m. and all you see here are tremors. Then typically what we've seen these seismologists do when they want to get off work, they don't want to address any problems during the night, they turn down the seismograph. They turn down the seismograph. Why? Because they don't want to address issues by getting woken up in the night with a 2.5, 3.0, 3.5 earthquake. Okay? But this afternoon, late this morning, early this afternoon, look what happened here. Down here at the bottom. All day and all night long, literally, all we've had are microquakes and tremors here until they turn the seismograph back up. Look what happened here. Late this morning and in the afternoon, look what happened here. The largest earthquake here was about a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Minor earthquake. Look at the bottom. Those are harmonic tremors here at Mount Hood. This is what's been going on at Mount Hood for quite a long time, several months now. Harmonic tremors. Harmonic tremors are not evidence of an eruption. But some of these dumb people that put out volcano eruption warnings for Mount Hood, and it's not erupting. There were several people who were pissed. I got notices on my email saying, Ron, is Mount Hood erupting? I said no. Then they showed me a link to that site on YouTube saying that Mount Hood was erupting. It's not. I'm showing you the evidence right now that Mount Hood is not erupting. It hasn't been erupting. It hasn't erupted in a long, long time. That's Palmer Lift. Let me show you another location here, Lamberson Butte on the east side of Mount Hood. Look at this. More harmonic tremors here. More harmonic tremors here. Does this look like a seismogram that is showing Mount Hood erupting? Heavens no. It's not happening. It's not happening. I'm not done. Let me show you a seismogram from the north side of the volcano. This is Yoakum Ridge. All we see here are tremors. Nothing but tremors here at Mount Hood. That's all that's going on. This is literally all that's going on. Yet we have some idiots trying to put out videos, get people all shook up, putting out false information. It's not true. It's not true. Okay? That's Yoakum Ridge. Let me show you another one further out north called Barrett Spur. Look at this. This is nothing but tremors here. Again, mostly harmonic tremors. Mount Hood is not erupting. I want to make that perfectly clear. Mount Hood is not erupting at all. And I resent some of these channels that come out and tell people information that's blatantly false. I've been seeing it a lot lately, and I'm tired of it. Don Patoka says FUBAR is now the norm, Ron. Yes, it is. This is a joke. In order to get clicks, bait clicks, this is clickbait. They want people to go check out their channel by putting this kind of crap out. Oh, Mount Hood is erupting. It's not. It's not. None of the Pacific Northwest volcanoes are erupting at all. None of them. Let's go up north to Mount Baker. Mount Baker is the northernmost volcano until we go into Canada. Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada has volcanoes. Garlic volcano. Many others over on Haida Gwaii as well. But this is Mount Baker, just to the south of the Canadian border. Does this look like a volcano that's erupting? No, it's not. Again, we are seeing harmonic tremors here at Mount Baker. Yes, there are some minor tremors going on. Yes, it is. It is happening. But even Mount Baker is not erupting at all. Okay? This is another channel on Mount Baker. The Mount Baker side, there are several seismographs all over the volcano. This particular seismograph has multi-channels. In other words, it can show the earthquakes that are going on, and it also can show the magma coming into the volcano, and that's what we see here. This particular seismograph is showing these wavy lines. These are called very low frequency waves. The very low frequency waves are generated by magma coming into the volcano. Yes, there is some activity. There very much is some activity, very much magma coming into the volcano, but the magma is causing harmonic tremors, causing the volcano to vibrate. That's all that's happening here. Okay? That's what's happening here. Now, Don is here saying duct tape won't fix stupid, but it will muffle the sound. You're right. You're absolutely right. Apparently, those people are using duct tape. Unreal. And no, I can't use duct tape to stop them because they'll just take it off and they're going to continue to do it unless YouTube does something about it. It's got to stop. Clickbait titles are getting views, but people getting the wrong information, and pretty soon they're going to get tired of it, tired of even looking at it. Then when a volcano does erupt, and yes, it's going to happen. When a volcano finally erupts, people are going to get so tired of hearing that when it erupts, people are going to say, oh, that's all clickbait. Then all of a sudden they get rained on by hot ash. All of a sudden they have lahars rushing down the volcano to streams and rivers, and all of a sudden those people have problems because the people put out clickbait. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. This is Mount Baker. Let's go south to Glacier Peak, just 40 miles to the southwest of Mount Baker. Glacier Peak. Look at this. Okay? I want to say something about this. Glacier Peak is an active volcano. They're not showing anything but one seismic event here today, this afternoon. Okay? There's more than this. Glacier Peak is an active volcano and it's moving. It's moving. Okay? It's moving. But again, the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network is with USGS and saying, oh, nothing's going on. Nothing's going on. Glacier Peak is nothing happening. It's wrong. Last week, I showed you a ton of earthquakes at Glacier Peak. That's normal. That's completely normal. But the Pacific Northwest has been downgrading information and putting up false information as well. And that's what we're seeing here. This is false information except for one earthquake this afternoon. Unreal. Let's go down to Mount Rainier. I've been talking about Mount Rainier for a very long time. Mount Rainier is active. Mount Rainier is very active. Look at this. This is Camp Muir on the north side of Mount Rainier. The upper north side of Mount Rainier. Look what's happening here. This is the VOF wave channel here. This is Camp Muir HHN channel, the VOF wave channel showing the magma coming into the volcano. Unreal. It's very active. You would see these very active, dangerous VOF waves here that are going on if nothing's going to happen. There are earthquakes here at Camp Muir. there are earthquakes at Camp Muir. But because the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network and the USBS, they don't want to show people what's actually happening at Camp Muir. Let me show you what we have here. Look at this. Yes, we're having tremors here. We're seeing a lot of tremors here, but look where this seismogram is showing you. Look at this seismogram. The most active part of the other seismogram showing all the magma. Look what's happening here. Yes, we're having some earthquakes, but we're also having harmonic tremors. Harmonic tremors here. The activity down below that is scrubbed. It just shows you tremors here and some minor earthquakes, maybe 2.0 earthquakes. That's all they're showing here. USBS and the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network have scrubbed off the activity here. All that activity should be showing you earthquakes. Why? Because that heavy-duty flow of magma into the volcano is fracturing rock inside the volcanic chamber. That's what's actually happening here. The fracturing rock inside the volcanic chamber from the incoming very hot, very volatile magma inside the volcano is causing rock fracturing, causing earth movement. Yes, we're seeing harmonic tremors, but we have more than that. Again, the agency is responsible for some of this. Okay, as I said before, Mount Rainier is showing signs of a possible eruption in the very near future. We talked about this a lot, and I'm going to continue to put it out because it is the truth. Now let's go over to Camp Sherman on the south side of the volcano. Look at this. This is the HHZ channel on Mount Rainier. Look what's showing here. Yes, we have some earthquakes here. Down in the center left-hand side. Down on the center left-hand side here. Let me enlarge this so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay? Just after 3:30 this morning, about 3:33 this morning, we had a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Back to back right there. You also see these thin vertical lines here with no dot in them. If there's a thin vertical line here without a dot in it, those are steam signals. Mount Rainier is steaming. Mount Rainier is definitely steaming. Then over on the right-hand side, let me also enlarge this so you can see what I'm talking about here. Over here on the right-hand side, we're seeing what they call a magma churn signal. A magma churn signal. That upended thin rectangle there, that's a magma churn signal. Off to the right of it are steam signals, steam signatures. Those thin vertical lines after the magma churn signal indicate Mount Rainier is steaming. But the magma churn signal itself is supposed to be 23 to 24 lines high. This is not. Let's count the number of lines here that are here. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This magma churn signal is 8 lines high. That equates to this seismogram only showing us 30% real world. 30% of real world, which means the seismologist turned down the seismograph. The seismologists have turned down the seismograph, peoples. So we're not even getting accurate information out of the seismograph because the seismologists, USGS and the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network have turned it down. That's ludicrous. They should not be turning anything down. They should be showing actual activity. Yes, we have harmonic tremors going on. Yes, because of the activity, all of the magma coming into the magma chamber of the volcano, we're seeing earthquakes, but USGS is not showing it to us. The magma coming into the magma chamber of the volcano is fracturing rock inside the volcano, which should be creating earthquakes. It should be. But the USBS and the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network in this case are not showing the earthquakes on the seismogram where they should be. Okay? Again, this is Mount Rainier. I want to make sure you understand what's going on here. That's why I'm telling you about it. Let's go over to Rainier Emerald Ridge. This is another seismogram showing you with the activity at Mount Rainier. Look at these VLF waves here. This should be showing us a lot of earthquakes here, but it's not. Okay, the VLF wave activity here should be fracturing rock inside the volcano, which it is. I'm sure it is. But again, USBS is not showing it to us. I went over to the Emerald Ridge seismogram and it shows nothing. Not a thing. Not harmonic tremors, not earthquakes, nothing. It's blank. It's blank. Incredible. Mount Rainier is moving. Let's go to rushing water over on the north side of the volcano. Look at this. This again is a VLF wave channel here. This is Rushing Water Creek HHN channel, which is the VLF wave channel, and that's what you see here. All these VLF waves marching through our seismogram here should give us earthquakes, but they're not. They're not. Mount Rainier is very active. That's why I want to show you this. Regardless of what the other seismograms show you, Mount Rainier is active. It's active. That other seismogram showing you the vertical lines without dots in the middle of them, those are steam signals. 6 to 7% of all magma is water. 6 to 7% of all magma is water. Okay? The plug at the top of the volcano is getting hit from underneath it like this. Smacked up from underneath it by magma. Under pressure. Every time that magma hits that volcanic rock, that plug of the volcano, tiny fissures develop in that volcano's plug here. Tiny fissures. The lines between my fingers are fissures represented here on my hand. Tiny fissures are caused by the magma coming up from underneath and hitting that rock. Pretty soon, those fissures open up further and further, allowing steam to come up from below that plug. Hot steam coming through those fissures. This is a physics question. This is a physics class. Hot steam coming through those tiny cracks in that plug causes those fissures or cracks to get wider and wider. And at some point in time, when that magma is smacking against that plug, all of a sudden that plug disintegrates. Boom. We have a volcanic eruption. That's what's going on at Mount Hood, at Mount St. Helens, at Mount Rainier, at Mount Baker, at Sisters Volcano, at Bachelor Moon Volcano, at Newberry Volcano, at Crater Lake, at Mount Shasta, and Mount Lassen. It's going on. It's going on. Okay? These volcanoes are putting out steam. Mount Lassen specifically is just like Mount St. Helens and Mount Rainier. Okay? It's getting ready to erupt. It's going through an eruptive phase. Prior to the eruption, we're seeing a lot of earthquakes. We're also seeing a lot of magma coming through the magma chamber. We're seeing it. At some point in time, that plug of the volcano is going to disintegrate, and instead of seeing steam, we're going to see active lava and ash coming up from the volcano. Then it's going to be too late to even talk about it. Because at that point in time, we have a very real emergency. I'm trying to put out the word about what's going on here. I'm trying to get everybody to realize exactly what's happening here. This is important. I would not be here if it wasn't important. This is happening every day. Every day. Okay? Again, this is Mount Rainier. Let me show you another one. Let's go over to Mount St. Helens. Mount St. Helens is south of Mount Rainier. Now, earlier today, I was going to show you the USGS map, and I decided it's not worth it. They're hardly showing any activity at all in Washington and or Oregon. Yes, they're showing some microquakes. In a few minutes after I show you Mount St. Helens, I'm going to show you the earthquakes happening around the Pacific Northwest. It's sad. It's very sad. Because again, the agency's not doing their darn job. Let's go over and show you Mount St. Helens. This is East Dome Mount St. Helens, guys. This is East Dome Mount St. Helens. Look what's happening here. The top line here is 1700 hours, 5 p.m. yesterday evening. We have some tremors, very tiny tremors here. Now, as we get towards later in the evening here, okay, over here on the left-hand side, you see 2200. That 22 represents 2200 hours military time, which is 10 p.m. Okay, just prior to 11 o'clock, which is 2300. Just prior to 11 o'clock, all of a sudden we see the magma inside the volcanic chamber causing tremors and causing minor earthquakes. That's what we're seeing here. We're seeing tremors and harmonic tremors and earthquakes, minor earthquakes. We're talking 2.0 to 2.7, 2.8 earthquakes here. That black line in the center of this diagram is a 2.8 minor earthquake. 2.8 minor earthquake. The one after it to the left is a 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. Mount St. Helens, East Dome Mount St. Helens. This is the main seismogram here. This is Mount St. Helens' main seismogram that the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network always shows everybody. Most of the time it's not right. I believe this seismogram is not right at all. Yes, this activity did happen, but there's a lot more activity here that they should be showing us. I'm going to show you why I believe that. Let's show you another seismogram here. This seismogram here is the VLF wave channel. Okay, the East Dome Mount St. Helens seismograph is a multi-channel seismograph. This particular one is the BHN channel here, or I should say the HHN channel. This is showing the live magma coming into the magma chamber here at the volcano. Look at that very active area here in the middle. Look at that. This should be causing good-sized earthquakes within the volcano. All they showed us at this area are harmonic tremors and some minor earthquakes. Should be showing a lot more than that. This kind of activity should be showing us good-sized earthquakes. They're not showing it. In other words, USBS and the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network have scrubbed the information off the seismogram. They do that as well. They erase it. As you can see, the activity is there that would cause larger earthquakes. And yes, I believe we've had at least a 3.0, 3.5 earthquake today at Mount St. Helens. That's what's happened. I have proof of it. Let me show you another seismogram here. I'm not kidding, guys. I'm not kidding at all. Look at this seismogram here. Okay? This is the main September lobe seismogram. September lobe is another seismograph that sits on top of the volcano. Sits right on top of the summit of the volcano, just like East Dome. This particular seismograph sits on legs like a spider. They call it September lobe. Here in the center of this seismogram, early this morning, after 4 a.m., about 4:09, 4:10 a.m. here, we have a 3.0 earthquake. Yeah, they're finally showing one to us. But again, why are we not seeing multiple earthquakes here? Why are we not seeing that? Because they don't want us to know exactly what's happening. They want to show us an earthquake. And I believe they may have doctored this earthquake sequence here. It's not just one earthquake, it's multiple quakes. Okay? Let me go over here and show you September lobe BDF CC01 seismogram. This is showing us active magma in the volcano here. From last night at 5 p.m. throughout the entire night and in the early morning, and then again the late morning this afternoon. Active magma coming into the volcano should show us earthquakes. Should show us earthquakes on the seismogram. They're not. They're definitely not showing us that. Because they don't believe they have to show it to us. Mount St. Helens and Mount Rainier are in a phase right now of pre-eruption. Pre-eruption. We're seeing the same things that happened in 1980, May 1980, just prior to the eruption of Mount St. Helens. It's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. I guarantee you, it's going to happen again. Okay? The exact same thing is happening now as happened before. They're not willing to be honest with us about what's going on here. So I've shown you Mount Baker. I've shown you Glacier Peak. I've shown you Mount Rainier. And I showed you Mount St. Helens and Mount Hood. It's all the same. It's all the same. They're hiding information. They're very much hiding information. Now there's more. I'm going to show you a lot more right now. Okay? First off, I want to show you this. This is Canadian earthquake map here. This is the Canadian earthquake map. Coming from Canada Earthquakes. Down at the bottom left, we have a 4.2 earthquake here. 4.2 earthquake off the central coast of Vancouver Island here. 4.2 mod earthquake. To the north, northwest of Vancouver Island here. That is a 3.2 earthquake, this one in red. The 4.2 one in red down to the southwest, and this one to the northwest here. This is a 3.2 earthquake. The yellow earthquakes are earthquakes that have happened within the last 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours. The yellow earthquake dots here are earthquakes that have happened during the last 24 to 48 hours. Okay? Yes, there are earthquakes here in the Cascadia subduction zone. Earthquakes are happening here off the coastline and on the coastline here in the Cascadia subduction zone region. You need to be aware of it. It is going on. It's not going to stop. Let's consult the USBS and the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network tremor map. Tremor map here. Look at this. This is northwest of Medford, Oregon here. Northwest of Medford, Oregon. The Pacific Northwest Seismic Network publishes this particular earthquake map. Tremors. These are microquakes and tremors here. 0.1 to 0.9 and 1.1 and 1.2 magnitude tremors. 17 tremors here on the tremor map. To the south. This is false information. This is completely false information here, guys. What I'm going to show you here in just a minute is going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that there are more earthquakes here than just 17 tremors here, all up and down the coast of Oregon and Washington. This is wrong. This is blatantly lies. Blatantly lies published by the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network on behalf of USGS. Incredible. Now, let's go over and show you up to the north, and then we'll go south into Oregon. Okay? Fildago Island. Fildago Island here. Let me reduce the size of this diagram here just really quickly so you can truly see what's going on here at Fildago Island. Okay? The top line here is 1700 hours, like I said, 5 p.m. yesterday evening. Look at the tremors here. Tremors dotting the entire diagram. Again, on this diagram, it shows after 8 p.m. last night. 8 p.m. last night going down to about 5 or 6 o'clock this morning. Very light tremor activity between those times. But what happens when the seismologists go back to work? They turn up the seismograph and all of a sudden we have tons of tremors. In this particular case, there are 78 tremors here. I counted it. I stopped to count it. 78 tremors here. Yes, we've also had some minor earthquakes here. Some 1.7 tremors on up to 2.0 earthquakes here. Fildago Island, Washington, in the Puget Sound area. They didn't show that on the map. Why not? 78 tremors here. Why are they not showing it? Again, I want to point out to everybody that's watching this program, there is activity here. The Cascadia volcano is causing this. Not volcano, I'm sorry, the Cascadia subduction zone is causing this. Okay? The Cascadia subduction zone and the Juan de Fuca fault are subducting underneath the North American plate. They are subducting under the North American plate here to the Pacific Northwest. That's what's causing the activity here. Okay, subduction. Subduction also causes more than just tremors, it causes full-blown earthquakes. Okay, that's Fildago Island. Let's take a look at Grays Harbor. Okay, usually Grays Harbor's got more earthquakes here. Yes, they are showing a lot of tremors. Tons of tremors. There are two earthquakes here in particular here. Two earthquakes in particular here. They're also showing us. Let's take a look at these. Okay. One earthquake here is after 10:15 p.m. last night. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake here on the center right. Okay. After that. Okay. It looks like there is a vertical line here without a dot in it, but that is also an earthquake. That is a 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. Then over here on the far right, this is also 2.7, 2.8 earthquake here. Again, they're not showing us everything that we should know because the seismogram has been scrubbed. The seismogram has been scrubbed here. That's Grays Harbor, Washington. Okay? Guaymas Island. Look at this. Up here on the north side of Puget Sound, Guaymas Island. Yes, we have tremors here. You see areas here where it appears we have a crop of magma here, almost a blob here. We have tremors here. We have vertical lines going through it. Those are tremors caused by the magma coming into the magma chamber here. That's what's happening. Further down here, last night, okay, approximately 10:30 last night on the blue line, 2.5 earthquakes. 2.5 earthquakes caused by magma coming into the magma chamber here. No, this is not a volcano, but there are magma chambers running through our ground that we walk on. There are horizontal magma chambers walking or running through the ground that we're walking on. Okay? We had a comment on after our program last night. If you go back to our program last night, look in the bottom comments, there's a comment from one of our active members. She was saying that she felt active magma pulsating through the ground. That's what's going on. It's like hydraulics. Just like hydraulics in a car, or hydraulics on a plane, or hydraulics on a spacecraft or rocket. The hydraulic fluid is pumping through the hydraulic lines. In this case, there's magma pumping through the magma chambers under the ground, headed towards the volcanoes. Active magma pumping through the ground that we walk on, magma headed for the volcanoes. That EMA sister said she felt it pumping, coursing through the ground. She's absolutely correct. That's what's happening here. So we see earthquakes and we see tremors here. Friday Harbor, Washington. Friday Harbor, Washington here. It's not the only one. Not the only one at all. Let's look at Tioga, the State Law Enforcement Fish and Game Department of Washington State. Look at this. This diagram shows you a ton of tremors here. Tons and tons of tremors. It's also showing us blobs of magma going through the magma chamber here. Again, under the ground, the magma chamber is causing magma earthquakes. Okay? Magma caused rock fracturing inside the ground. That's why we see these tremors here. Lots and lots of tremors. This is probably, I didn't fully count all of them, there's probably 75 to 100, I wouldn't say 100, but 75 to 80 tremors here on this particular diagram. That's what's happening here. Tremors here. Okay? I'm not done. I'm far from being done here. Let's look at Leavenworth, Washington. This is further inland, but you see earthquakes here that they are not talking about. They showed like 3 tremors around Washington State, none in Oregon. I'm going to show you plenty of tremors and earthquakes in Oregon in just a minute. This is Washington. Yes, we see tremors here. Up at the top right-hand side. Okay? Each one of these numbers here on the left count out hours here. The top one is 5 p.m. The second one is 6 p.m. 1800. The next one is 1900 7 p.m. 2000 8 p.m. 2100 9 p.m. In this particular case, over on the right-hand side, this would be 9:43 p.m. last night. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake here. And the magma blob there caused it. The magma coming into the volcanic chamber here caused that earthquake, as it causes all tremors and all earthquakes. That's what's happening here at Leavenworth, Washington. Okay. Let's look over at Lopez Island again near the coast. Look at this. Tremors and earthquake here. Okay. Approximately 8, and I'm going to say 8:11, 8:12 last night. This earthquake is a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. This is serious, guys. This is Lopez Island, Puget Sound. Nearly a 3.0 small earthquake here. Puget Sound. Why is USGS not showing it on their map? They should be. It's in the northern Puget Sound area. They should be showing this, but they're just showing some microquakes on the map. That's all they're showing. They're showing one over on the Olympic Peninsula that is a 1.1 tremor. That's all. Stupidity. Stupidity. Let's look at Loomy Island, also over there in the northern Puget Sound region. Look here. We have minor tremors. We see these tremors here. We're also seeing some 2.0 earthquakes here. 2.0, 2.2 earthquakes here. Look at that. But they're not showing over in the northern Puget Sound region. They're not showing any of this. Why not? Why not? We deserve to know. Those of you that live here, you pay taxes to the state of Washington, and the state of Washington runs the University of Washington, runs the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network, also funded by USBS. Unreal. Uncaught, big and real here. Again, they're not showing us real information. Let's look at Ocean Shores, Washington. Look at this. Yes, there is magma flowing through the Pacific Ocean over to the North American plate. From the Pacific plate to the North American plate on land. Magma flowing to the volcanoes here. Ocean Shores, Washington. In this particular case, you can see these longer magma pulse signals. Magma pulse signals where these horizontal lines are thicker and thinner. The thicker lines showing more magma coming into the magma chamber here. In this case, flowing through the ground that we're walking on here. Ocean Shores, Washington. There's a city here. There's a fire department, a police department. It's a large enough city to have first responders. There are people living here. Look at this earthquake at the bottom of this sideground this morning. This morning, guys. This morning. This earthquake happened after 11 a.m. this morning. (11:08) this morning. Started off as a 2.5, 2.6 earthquake, but it ended up as a 2.7, 2.8. Earthquake lasted a full 60 seconds, a full minute. Interesting. Why are they not showing this on the USGS map? They're not. This is over on the shoreline of Washington. They're not showing this. Several years ago, Marfugal, Adam, took a trip with his wife over here at Ocean Shores. He videotaped himself or video recorded himself here in Ocean Shores. Marfugal Adam said that he visited with citizens here in Ocean Shores. He visited with firefighters and police officers here in Ocean Shores, Washington. Marv was told by those people that they didn't even have any idea what the Cascadia megathrust earthquake was. They had no idea of the danger that they were in. At that time, they were hardly having any earthquakes at all over in Ocean Shores, Washington. Since then, they've had some 3.0s and 3.5 earthquakes hit Ocean Shores, and we've shown that here in the past year or so. It's happened. Now you see the earthquakes here. Earthquakes and tremors here. You see the magma flowing through the magma chamber here. These horizontal lines get thicker and thinner depending on the amount of magma that's flowing through the ground here. Ocean Shores, Washington. It's happening. Every day, it's happening more and more. Okay? Let's look at Orcas Island. Look at Orcas Island here to the north. This is near Friday Harbor, to the west of Friday Harbor here. Look what's happening here. Let me reduce the size of this. Again, the top of this diagram is showing 5 p.m. last night. Incredible. Again, we have thicker and thinner lines here showing the magma flowing through the magma chamber here in the ground. This late morning and this afternoon, we're seeing earthquakes here. We probably had earthquakes last night and all morning long here, but they've been scrubbed off the sideground. Here this morning and late afternoon, we see, or not late, but early afternoon, we see tremors here and minor earthquakes. 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes here. Tremors as well. You also see these magma blobs here showing magma coming through the magma chamber here beneath the surface, flowing over towards the volcanoes, and the magma is fracturing rock inside the magma chamber, which is causing these tremors and earthquakes. That's what's happening here. It's been happening here for a long time. That's Orcas Island. Orcas Island. Let's go look at Pacific County, Washington. This is a military base resort. Pacific County, Washington. Look at this. Yes, we have tremors here. For the most part, all they're showing are microquakes, and they are showing some 2.0, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4 earthquakes here. Down here in the center bottom of this side map. You can see it here. It's happening. It's happening. They can't deny it because it's happening. But they don't show it on the map. You have to go digging for the evidence. The evidence is clear. It's happening. It's happening, guys. Let's take a look at Loomy Island. This is also in the north part of the Puget Sound area. Look at this. Again, we have tremors and we have earthquakes here. We have those magma blobs here. Magma flowing through the crust of the earth, fracturing the rock in the magma chamber, and it's causing earthquakes. Okay? You completely see it happening here. Look at last night here. This blue line here is approximately 9:30 on the left-hand side, and over here, it's about 9:42 p.m. last night. 2.5 earthquake here. Yes, so we see some 2.0s. We also have a lot of tremors, 1.1 to 1.9 tremors here as well. The thicker lines here is showing magma. Lesser lines, less magma here. Flowing through the ground. Flowing through the ground, the magma chambers in the ground. Okay. Let's look at Radar Ridge, Nassau, Washington. Again, this is near the coastline of Washington. Look at this. In this particular case, all we have here are tremors, tiny tremors here, long duration tremor activity here. It's happening. It's ongoing. And yes, at the bottom, near the bottom of this diagram, about 2 p.m. this afternoon, there's a couple minutes where they shut off the seismograph. Completely shut off the seismograph. It's not telling us what's going on. Big white hole there. A minute later, they turn it back on. Why did they turn it off? Inquiring minds want to know. Okay? That's not over. It's not over. Let's go over and show you Rainier, Oregon. This is where Rainier, Oregon is here on the seismograph. This is where Rainier, Oregon is located. Let's go back here and show you the seismograph at Rainier, Oregon. Blows your mind. Look at this. In this particular case here in Oregon, yes, we have volcanoes in the nearby vicinity, but we also have magma that is actually causing harmonic tremors in the ground. Harmonic tremors, you're not even feeling these, but the ground is actually vibrating. Harmonic tremors caused by magma flow beneath the ground. Okay? Incredible, huh? Again, look at that hole in the seismograph at the bottom. Why did they turn off the seismograph? Why did they turn off the seismograph in this location? We want to know. It's not just this location, it's many of them. Many of them. I'm not done. Let's look in at Seaside, Oregon. I'm sorry, that's a tremor map. I thought I had a map of Seaside, Oregon here. I guess I don't. Look at Seaside, Oregon here. Coastline. Of course, we have tremors here. Hundreds of tremors here. Hundreds of tremors here. We have a couple minor earthquakes as well. Why is USGS only showing us 17 tremors on the tremor map just northwest of Medford? Seaside, Oregon, guys, there are tremors caused by magma in the magma chambers coming from the Pacific Ocean to the North American plate. Coming from the Pacific plate onto the North American plate here. This is evidence of it. Overwhelming evidence of magma underneath the surface here. Crawling, seeping hydraulic fluid pumping through the magma chamber here. Hydraulic magma fluid here. Okay? Pulsating magma here in the magma chamber here in Oregon and Washington. Okay? I want to show you this because it's important. When the agency says there's only 17 tremors in Oregon and Washington, we know they're lying through their teeth. Most of the time they're lying through their teeth when they show us hundreds, sometimes 110, 160, 170, 200, 230, 300 tremors. Yeah, they're still lying through the teeth because there's hundreds and hundreds of tremors and earthquakes every day. Every day here. But they're not showing it. They refuse to show it. Does anybody have any questions about this? Last night I told you I'd show you the volcanoes and the earthquakes that are happening in Washington, Oregon. I've shown it to you. Does anybody have any questions? Wendy, thank you for being here. Wendy B47 here is from England. Thank you for being here. Our buddy Demon Catman I haven't seen here in the chat, but even Catman is usually here. He's also one of our moderators. He's from the east of England. We have several of you from England here. We appreciate it. Okay? We have people from Wales here, people from Ireland. We love it. I haven't seen our members from Sweden and Norway lately, but we had members in Sweden and Norway. We have members in Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. Yeah. We've even had someone in Romania about a year or so ago. Yeah. We love it. We love it. Any questions? Now, I don't have the image here on our broadcast software I would show you, but the last few days, I've also been dealing with health insurance. I want you to know what's happening with your health insurance or Medicare. Okay? Not just Medicare, but all health insurance throughout this country. Okay? Because the Democrats are on strike. The Democrat Communist Party in America is on strike. As a result, they are making healthcare almost impossible to deal with. They want to pay huge sums of money to these illegal aliens for healthcare, but Americans can't get it. Americans can't get it. My healthcare through Humana Insurance was canceled as of January 1st this year. They canceled it. They canceled it. I spent the last 3 days on the phone with representatives from Charter Medicare. Okay, Charter Medicare. Look on YouTube and you can get the number to Charter Medicare. In fact, let me look it up for you and I'll tell you what it is. Okay. I'm saying not Charter, but Chapter. Chapter. Okay. When you call Chapter or Ask Chapter, you can go over to askchapter.org. Askchapter.org. They have a lot of people there to help you. The insurance agents at chapter.org are paid salaries. They're paid salaries. They're not paid by insurance companies to sell you a policy. That's the reason they can tell you exact information that you need to hear so you can make exacting decisions on your own health care. Okay, they're not trying to sell one policy or another, but they will show you information about many policies that can be had in your area so you can pick the best policy for you. Okay, I had a man named Tristan. I don't remember another woman that was also helping me with Tristan. Okay, Tristan is a great insurance agent. Paid a salary through Chapter Medicare. Okay, it's important. Askchapter.org. Askchapter.org. Okay, you'll get great information. You'll be able to get at least a good policy to cover your health care for this next year. Okay, the telephone number for Charter or Chapter Medicare is 855 900 2427. 855 900 2427. Chapter Medicare. Askchapter.org. I will try to put up their information on the next program tomorrow night. Askchapter.org. Presently, it's open season to apply for new health insurance for next year, starting January. It's open season between now and December 15th. So if you want to get insurance, health insurance for you, call chapter.org and ask to speak with one of their insurance agents. Again, they're paid a salary. They're not paid on commission. So you'll get people that really want to help you and get you the best policy for you individually. AskChapter.org. You can even ask for my buddy Tristan. Great man. Great man. I spent hours talking to him during the last 3 days. 855-900-2427. AskChapter.org. No, they're not paying me for that. I hope sooner or later they will. AskChapter.org. Telephone number 855-900-2427. AskChapter.org. Great company. Great company. And you will get probably the best sales, health insurance sales from them. AskChapter.org. Okay? Does anybody have any questions? My buddy Don Patogas here in the chat saying, plan for life's emergencies, even the ones you have not even thought of or imagined. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. My buddy Hurricane Heather is here. Sleeping Volcano is also here. Brothers and sisters in our mods here, thank you for being here. God bless you. We love our mods. We love all of you here. Now, I have not said anything about donations to our program. I've not seen anybody yet put up super chats here. Yes, you can donate to our program through super chats. Right before we got off the air last night, Rob52 gave us a $5 super chat. You can also give us donations through our PayPal here. We have 2 PayPal addresses here. We have a Venmo that doesn't work, but I'm trying to get it to work. You donate through our PayPal here. Donate any amount of money, cash, to keep this program on the air. Okay? Our email address is rltnspdema@gmail.com. rltnspdema@gmail.com. If you have questions or comments about this program, please send us an email. We'd appreciate that as well. We want to know what you would like to see on this program. So if you have questions or comments, or even criticisms, please send it to our email address, rltnspdema@gmail.com. You also see our mailing address here, 504 Bethel Road, 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, Morganton, North Carolina. Zip code here is 28655. You can send us cards and letters. Inside the card or the letter, you can stick a check or even cash and send it to us. People have done it before, they're going to do it again. We appreciate that as well. So now I've given you at least 4 options to send us cash or checks in the mail. We'd appreciate that very much. It costs money to put on these programs. I've been paying $253 a month for bandwidth alone, to keep this program on the air. You notice I have microphones here. I have audio and video cables here. I had to replace my video camera recently because the camera went down. It takes money to keep this program on the air, and we'd appreciate if you'd also help us do that. Okay? We'd appreciate you helping us do that, and thank you for that. Okay? Now, we're coming to the end of the program. I want to thank everybody that's been here on our program, been here for us. Now, I'm going over here to Isaiah. Okay? I'm going over here in the scriptures at the end of our program. A small devotional, guys. I want to go over to Isaiah chapter 41, starting here in verse 10. Fear not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with my right hand of my righteousness. Yeah, God's telling us he's willing to help us. He's willing to help us. Over in chapter 42. Chapter 42. I want to go over verse 16. I will bring the blind by a way that they know not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them, and crooked ways straight. These things will I do unto them, and not forsake them. Going over in chapter 43, this time in verses 18 and 19. Remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. The Lord wants to help us, doesn't he? He absolutely does. Throughout the scriptures, over and over, chapters and books and everything, the Lord continues to guide us and direct us. The Lord has prophets, has apostles helping us through our lives. One of my favorite scriptures here in Isaiah. Actually, I've read you also other favorites here, but I'm coming to another favorite here in just a minute. Over in chapter 51, I want to start with chapter 51, verse 12 and 13. Even I am he that comforteth you. Who art thou, that thou shouldest be afraid of a man that shall die, and of the Son of Man who shall be made as grass? And forgettest the Lord thy Maker, that hath stretched forth the heavens, and laid the foundations of the earth, and hast feared continually every day, because of the fury of the oppressor, as if he were ready to destroy. And where is the fury of the oppressor? Go to verse 22. Thus saith the Lord and thy God, that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thy hand the cup of trembling, and the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink of it again. But I will put it in the hands of them that afflict thee, which have been said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over, and thou hast laid thy body on the ground, and as a street to them that went over. Then one of my favorite scriptures here, Isaiah 52, verse 7. How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, that publisheth peace, and bringeth good tidings of good, that publisheth salvation, that saith unto Zion, thy God reigneth. Thy God reigneth. How beautiful upon the feet. How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, that publisheth peace, that bringeth good tidings of good, that publisheth salvation, that saith unto Zion, thy God reigneth. Verse 53, going on from verse 3, actually going on from verse 2, I'm going to go through verse 11 here, okay? Starting with verse 2 in chapter 53. For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant. You and I, consider yourselves a tender plant here, and as a root out of a dry ground. He that hath no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows, and acquainted with grief, and we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he hath borne out griefs, and carried our sorrows, and yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way. And the Lord hath laid upon him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed, he was afflicted, yet he was brought as a lamb to the slaughter. And as a sheep before his shearers is dumb, so he openeth not his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment. And who shall declare the generation? For he is cut out of the land of the living. For the transgression of my people was he stricken. And he made his grave with the wicked, with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence. Neither was he any deceit in his mouth. Yet it pleaseth the Lord to bruise him. He hath put him in grief. When thou shalt make his own soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. He shall see the travail of his soul, and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities. Therefore I will divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he hath poured out his soul unto death. And he was numbered with the transgressors, and he bare the sin of many, and made intercession for the transgressors. Who is the prophet Isaiah talking about? The prophet Isaiah is prophesying of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I try to bring a little harmony to our lives at the end of our programs, because we talk of all kinds of emergencies and disasters that are in front of us. So I try to bring a little peace. But in this case, I went to the prophet Isaiah, who prophesied of our Savior Jesus Christ coming to the earth, enduring for all of us, taking upon himself all of our sins, being crucified on the cross, and rising on the third day. In the next 2 months, we're going to be going through what I call the trilogy of days, beginning with Thanksgiving in November, the first part of the trilogy, giving thanks for our blessings. The second part of the trilogy is Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Rejoice in the activity of Christ's birth, praising God for our Savior Jesus Christ's birth. One of the greatest holidays, and probably one of the most recognized days in history. Birth of our Savior Jesus Christ. Then the final end of the trilogy of days is New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Why? Because the trilogy doesn't have to end with the birth of the Savior. The beginning of the year is symbolic of a beginning new part of our lives. Begin a new part of our lives. We can set goals for ourselves, goals to make ourselves and our families better. We talk about emergency preparedness on this program all the time. Now is the time to put ourselves in the position to help others, beginning with Thanksgiving. Let's start looking to ask prayers of our Father in heaven to bless us and bless our families and those that are in need. Let's try and ask for prayers for others. Heaven knows we need it. Let's give thanks to God for what we have, what we've been given. And this Thanksgiving, let's stretch forth our hand to help others. Stretch forth our hand to help others. Then during the time before Christmas, let's tell the tale of the life of Jesus Christ, his birth and his mission here on this earth. Let's tell the story of Jesus Christ. Let's tell the story far and wide. Brothers and sisters, I love you. I have a testimony of our Savior Jesus Christ. He lives. The gospel of Jesus Christ is here on the earth. It's true. It's true. There are apostles and prophets on this earth to give us information to help our lives, help the lives of our families as well. Our brothers and sisters, our children and grandchildren. Let's be there and be getting help from them as well. May God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. If anything else happens tonight or in the morning, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. As soon as I get that crick out of my neck here, I think my voice is getting better as I've been talking here tonight, which is good, but I can't turn my head much more than this like this. It hurts too bad. May God bless you. We will be back on the air if anything else happens as soon as the information becomes available. Tomorrow night, we'll be back on the air and give you information about emergencies or disasters that have happened. There's been no major earthquakes. There's been no 6.0 large earthquakes yet today or tonight. If those happens, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it, depending on where they're at and what happens. And also, if anything else happens, we'll be on the air here again as soon as the information becomes available. Until then, tomorrow night at 4 o'clock in the evening or afternoon, we'll be back on the air with Emergency Management Preparedness tomorrow night, just after 4 p.m. tomorrow night. May God be with you. May God bless you. Always. I leave God's blessing upon all of you in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Have a good night, everybody. I love you very much. Take care. God bless. See you soon. Good night, everyone.
Emergency Management Associate. We're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching. much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better. Bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate